Good late afternoon, everyone, and what a scene here. Charlottesville, Virginia. Temperatures low 80s, blue skies, white puffy clouds, flowers in bloom, and we are in store for what should be a fabulous ACC showdown between Florida State and Virginia, pair of top 10 teams at Disharoon Park. The wind is kind of down right now. You got a very potent offense in Virginia and a really good pitcher on the mound for Florida State. Devin Travis, Karl Ravech, welcome. The first of three between these two teams. Let's start with Virginia. Chris Pollard comes over to take over for Brian O'Connor, who went to the SEC. He brings a bunch of Dukies with him, and they have morphed into a team that can pitch. And man, the top of this lineup may be as good as there is in the country.
New year, new coach, same offense. This is one of the best offenses in the entire country. And I tell you what, it starts with the top of this lineup in Eric Becker, potential first-round pick in this upcoming draft, leads the team with 19 extra base hits, about 32 RBIs in the leadoff spot as well. And then there's our guy, A.J. Grassi, a ninth-ranked prospect in this year's draft. Another potential first-round pick, a guy that controls the zone, slow heartbeat, always comes up with big hits and a big grand slam on Tuesday.
And a big dude who just looks the part of baseball player. You see some of their gaudy numbers for Becker, who plays short, and Gracia, who will roam center field. This is a team that has blasted 50 home runs. Meantime, you look at a Florida State team, and they're sitting there with 36. They do it all, Becker, Gracia, and they are at the top of this order, which makes it a challenge for the lefty who's on the mound and the ace of Florida State, and that is Wes Mendez.
Oh, he's a good one. Florida State wondered where they'd go to find their ace on Friday. After losing Jamie Arnold, Wes Mendez has delivered. 58 strikeouts this year is good for number 2 in the ACC. You see the 1.33 ERA leading the ACC. He's a lefty who just attacks. Struggled a bit with lefties this year, but also facing a lineup that struggles with lefties as well.
That is interesting. You got a lefty on the mound, you'd figure have great success against lefties. That's not really the case. As you take a look at the Florida State lineup, devastated by the Miles Bailey broken ankle suffered last week. He's had surgery. He is out. The team expects to be with him at some point in the next couple of days, but he had 13 of their 36 homers. Who replaces him is the big question, and we're underway with that first pitch up and into Braden Dowd. On the mound for Virginia is Kyle Johnson, a two-way stud, really, who is 6 feet, 205, 0-1, working back from an injury that cost him a few starts early this season, and he comes inside again, and he drills down on the elbow.
And I think that's going to be the big key today for Kyle Johnson. He's a lefty with really good stuff. Fastball, slider, cutter, changeup. He'll change the shape of his breaking ball. Last year, the big issue was command. Can he get in the strike zone? And he's a big key tonight. Let's keep an eye on first pitch strikes so he can get to his good stuff.
Well, Link Jarrett has dealt with injuries. Most teams do, but his obviously the biggest one with Bailey. And now you're looking at Braden Dowd, who is a center fielder of his team, the leadoff guy, an important player, gets drilled on the arm, and it requires both to come out and make sure he's okay.
And when you look at this offense, Carl, you wonder, how do you replace Miles Bailey? I think it's a collective effort. I think it starts with the guy at the top of this lineup in Braden Dowd. Got to find a way to continue getting on base. The USC transfer, he's having a great year, but it's one piece at a time. There's no way to replace a guy that has given you about 36% of the total home runs this year for Florida State. It's got to be traffic.
A little small ball?
Yeah, I think so. And then this isn't a club that does sacrifice bunt a lot, but I think we see with the speed that this team has, I think we see more hit and runs. I see you think them take more chances on going first to third. It's hard to replace a guy like Miles Bailey, but this is a talented group here at Florida State.
Noah Sheffield, the last guy that hit a homer for Florida State, is up. He will play second base with the injury to Bailey. They shifted everyone around. It's a very familiar bat waggle for those that know the name Sheffield and followed his dad Gary's career. And he hits this one back. It is fielded by the pitcher, who threw it to no one, and that is a wild one that gets into the dugout. Johnson threw the ball to Becker, who was behind the bag, while Joe Tiroli was standing on it, and then Becker threw it away. It's second and third, nobody out.
Man, oh man, the game of baseball, crazy. Little changeup down and away, aggressive hitter in Sheffield. I think Kyle Johnson just fired up on the mound, letting the emotions get the best of him early. This is a Virginia defense that's played fantastic all year long. It's something that they have to have in Becker, a guy that's really made huge strides from last year into this year. He's been great defensively. in the right spot in that position right there, but ball gets away from him. Florida State threatening early. Got to take advantage of these early mistakes from Virginia.
You figure Becker, with his experience, he just eats that baseball. No play at first base, but now a big-time threat early for a team desperate for some offense, and it's Hunter Carnes. And the first pitch poured in there at 94 miles an hour to get ahead of the catcher, who was hitting a few balls into the seats in the left field bleacher area during batting practice.
Oh, he's got big-time pop, draft eligible sophomore.
Infield plays back. Next one off speed. It's 0-2.
You'll see 2 breaking balls today from Kyle. Big sweeping breaking ball with more depth. Like you saw right there, 76 miles per hour. He'll speed it up a bit, run it into about 80, 81 miles per hour at the back foot.
And he got him, and that is strike 3, held on to. And for Florida State fans that are tuning in, this is a little bit of a PTSD situation. They have had a hard time getting runners in from third base with less than 2 outs, and that was one example there.
Yeah, without question, Kyle goes to his bigger breaking ball there, sharper toward the back foot. These are 2 programs, number 1 and number 2 in the ACC in strikeouts offensively. Got to find a put the ball in play in this situation.
Paulino off the end of his bat, strike 1. Bumpy start for Kyle Johnson, who is on a pitch count. First start through 10, next start 35. They hope to get him up to about 50 to 60. As it's 0-1 to Paulino. Bends one in there, and Johnson has locked it in.
2 straight balls to start the game. Now 7 straight strikes. This is when Kyle Johnson's at his best. These big-time situations, working ahead. Got to go for the strikeout here.
Down 1-2. Paulino hitting in the cleanup spot here, and you've played, obviously, at the collegiate level for Florida State, the big leagues. At some point, when you lose a Bailey, the spotlight focuses on somebody. Is it this kid?
Yeah, no doubt. And you think about these situations here. You got a freshman at the plate, a guy that strikes out.
He went.
Very rarely, and another great back foot breaking ball from Kyle Johnson. But these are the situations that Florida State has to take advantage of. Sure, you can't replace the slug and the home runs that Miles Bailey gives you, but you got to find a way in this situation. Less than 2 outs, guy on third base, infield playing back. You got to find a way to put the ball in play. But a great pitch there and a big strikeout back to back for Kyle.
So Kyle Johnson did the heavy lifting after the hit batter and the error. He strikes out Carnes and Paulino, and now Putnam looks at strike 1. That breaking pitch, very effective.
Yeah, and first pitch strikes very big time, and you get in these situations. Got a guy with great stuff, you got to work ahead.
The 0-1. 0-2. This is a potential insult to injury. I mean, Dowd took one off the elbow. He's standing there at third. He was there with nobody out. He's still there, and he's a strike away from getting out of it. And he will. How about Kyle Johnson? 7 swings and misses. After second and third, nobody out. He strikes out Carnes, Paulino, and Putnam.
Kyle Johnson, Virginia. A little momentum early. Strikes out the side.
Welcome back, everyone. Karl Ravech, Devin Travis. Certainly saw the potential impact of the loss of a guy like Bailey there. When you have 2 men on, you can't bring a run in as he strikes out 3, 4, and 5 in the order. So it's Becker and Gracia, who you talked about. Who else should they focus on in the batting order of the folks at home?
I can't wait to see Sam Harris. He's on a heater right now, 5 for 5 on Tuesday with 2 home runs to the backside. Big thing I'm focusing on today is this left-handed pitcher on the mound, and Wes Mendez versus this Virginia Cavalier lineup that's incredibly potent. They've struggled against lefties this year, just a .236 batting average, .309 against righties.
There he is, Mendez, and you mentioned who is going to replace Arnold from this staff last year. He has stepped in really well. 6'1", 195 out of Tampa, Florida. He does get a lot of swings and misses, and it is a true 5-pitch mix. We spoke with Link Jarrett, the head coach, earlier today. It's like most, you kind of fall back on the one that's working, but on any given night, all 5 could be working. It's rare, but he trusts every one of his pitches.
Yeah, no doubt. I think Michael Posey does a great job with Wes Mendez. They have a very close relationship. And what good pitchers do when they don't have a pitch, well, they go to the pitch that seems to be working that night. They kind of throw that pitch out of their repertoire, so he's done a good job of that this year. He's a 5-pitch mix. He attacks with a big-time fastball. It's the changeup for righties, the slider for lefties.
Through his last 4 games, he has had 10 or more strikeouts. As you know, the old adage, if you're going to get a guy, get him early, and this is a lineup that certainly can do that. First pitch fouled off. It's a Virginia offense that has outscored their opponents in the first 56-18. 56-18. We've touched on it. The junior, Eric Becker, followed by Gracia, and today Harrison Didowick hitting third. Next one on the 0-1, off speed, fouled off at the plate.
Early on in the ball game, you can learn a lot about the approach and game plan from an offense against a pitcher. You see a first pitch swing on a cutter right there, attacks on an 0-1 pitch. So it looks to me like the plan early on in this ball game is you got to jump on early pitches from Wes Mendez.
The 0-2. Did he hold up? They'll appeal, and he did. Third base umpire is Jeff Day. Our home plate umpire today, Kevin Sweeney, balls and strikes.
And a good call there, just held up.
Becker 345 on the season, 5 homers, 13 doubles, and a good take. As a team, 288 and 928 OPS. It is a high-octane offense. 61 doubles, 50 homers. Next one gets right by him into the glove, and a first strikeout for Mendez tonight.
And a good sign there early on from Wes Mendez. You'll see that fastball really jumps out of his hand, and I think that's the pitch tonight. That's going to be the most important spot to be able to commit to, the fastball on the outer edge. What that does is the lefties start leaning over the plate. He's able to go to the cutter, slider right off that lane, and then buzz him inside every now and then to keep him off that pitch. Good start for Wes.
Brings up A.J. Gracia. And he takes one in there, kind of a cutter at 91 for strike 1. Gracia looks every bit the part of a top 10 Major League Baseball draft pick. And his splits against lefties and righties are very similar. Good pitch on the corner at 93. He's ahead 0-2.
He can really hit. One of the best hitters in the entire country. I love watching him play as a freshman. Got better last year. I think a big key to this guy that really surprised me was him getting off to a slow start last year, really picking it up.
This one into right, and over there is Zach Jackson to make the play. Came in on him, and it showed you a little bit of the Gracia strength, but 2 up and 2 down, and he's managed to get through the top 2.
And a great start. That fastball right there on the inner half of the plate. Pitches that hitters have to make the quickest decision on is the fastball on the inner half of the plate with 2 strikes. I think it's going to be another important pitch for him.
Now Harrison Didowick, who's moved up in the order. He does have success against lefties, but not on a pitch like that at 94.
He's fired up early on, Harrison Didowick. What a great story. These are the stories in college baseball you love to see. Has a huge sophomore year, 23 home runs last year, a bit slow, just 9 extra base hits. Comes back for his senior year, putting it together.
How about a 76-mile-an-hour Uncle Charlie?
Yeah, he can pitch.
Strikeout of Becker. Gracia flies out to right. Here's Didowick with an 0-2 in the dirt. With the absence of Bailey at first, the entire infield is playing new positions. Cully's at shortstop. Hasn't played there very much at all. That one just misses in. Noah Sheffield just was inserted the other day to play second base. made a couple of good plays, figured like he'd earned it, right? I should be back out there.
Big 2-run bomb in the middle of that game on Tuesday.
Back up the middle, and the first opportunity for the shortstop, and he makes it look easy is Carter McCulley. Very good inning for the starting pitcher, Wes Mendez. We got zeros on the board after 1. Here, Kyle Johnson, first inning, first pitch, strikes 4 of 5 after this bumpy start. The error from Becker, and then he locked it in. 4 straight after the leadoff hitter, 7 swings and misses.
Yeah, it's exact response what you want to see out of your Friday night ace. Kyle Johnson trying to get back into form. It's going to be huge for this Virginia
Stutzer
club.
on the line. That is fielded cleanly by Becker. It picked it right off the dirt. 1 pitch, 1 out. As the right fielder is retired.
Kyle's always been a guy with Friday night stuff. Tonight, Thursday, but he's an ace, and he's a guy that has to get in the strike zone. I love the response here. As you see a line drive, nice stop out, a short stop by Becker, but that's 4 straight hitters in a row where he gets a first pitch strike. That's going to be a big key tonight for Kyle.
There was some question about Chase Williams' availability. He in the last game stepped between the white and green bag down there at first base, but obviously the good news is he's able to go, and he's an electric player. He is really their base stealing threat.
He is. He's the guy that I circled for this Florida State club coming into this year. He's a spark plug. Had a great year last year. Fought through a shoulder injury. He's off to a slow start. I think this is going to be a big guy that we have to be able to circle as a catalyst to pick up for some of this loss with Miles Bailey.
And this one down the line in right field, tailing away, and there's no play out there for Jackson. It's going to be the challenge in a loaded ACC conference. Like Jarrett told us, every series is a super regional. I mean, that's how he's playing things out. They're off to a great start at 7-2 in conference. But without Bailey, there's all sorts of pressure on everyone else. It's in the dirt.
I'm certain Link had a few talks with his club throughout this week. Losing a guy like Miles Bailey, obviously, like we talked about, it's incredibly hard to replace. You got a young crew here, and you got a great coach in Link Jarrett, someone that always does a great job, one of the best teachers of baseball in the game.
Called strike 3, 4 strikeouts for what appears to be the ace in waiting, and the transition to ace is beginning, and tonight is certainly a good example of what he's capable of.
That's sharp right there. Fastball in the inner half of the plate, dotted. Kyle Johnson showing off that big-time fastball. The velo, it's starting to come back. The feel for the breaking ball starting to come back. He went to the changeup early on in that first inning to get ahead in counts. It's looking good.
They're looking real good. The infield will shift, so Tiroli moves to the shortstop side a second, and a breaking pitch misses. Johnson, one of 7 dudes that followed Pollard from Duke to Virginia. And a two-way player, had a pinch hit home run in a game earlier this year when he wasn't on the mound. We'll talk with both coaches during our game. 2-0.
Chris Pollard's done a wonderful job with this crew. Making the transfer inside the ACC, a ton of his guys followed him over. A lot of Duke's best players came with him.
The 2-0 to Fisher. He misses on an 84-mile-an-hour changeup. He is one of Duke's best players, and now he, of course, calls Virginia home. I did reach out to Brian O'Connor today. I said it's a little different to come here. You don't see you here. He obviously is doing quite well at Mississippi State, and by the way, Virginia is doing quite well.
Yeah, no doubt about it. He's been great down there in the SEC. Never had a doubt he'd be able to make that transition. One of the best men in the game.
3-1. Yeah, right on the inside corner. He commands the inside part of that plate against righties. It's 3-2.
That's so important against right-handed hitters. As a lefty, you got to be able to command that inner half of the plate. If not, these righties will be able to lean out over.
Murray, Becker, Tiroli on the left side of the infield, and they roll one of the third baseman, Murray. He fields, fires, and after allowing the first two to reach, second and third, nobody out. Kyle Johnson has retired 6 men in a row. We go bottom 2, and it's 4-5-6 coming up for Virginia. Well, Wes Mendez knows the deal. He probably is very aware of what happened in that first inning when his offense couldn't get him any runs, and what the responsibility is of the ace, which is to make sure the other team doesn't score. And he does it with a variety of pitches.
Yeah, he sure has, and it's the cutter that he's added to his arsenal. Started working on it last year. It's continued to get better and better this year. A lot of first pitch strikes so far. Change-up, haven't seen many so far today. You imagine as you start to go through this lineup, you get through the second time through. If you can save a pitch and be able to start throwing it that second time through the lineup, I think it's a very, very important thing for Wes.
4 straight first pitch strikes as Tiroli swung and fouled that one off. You remember facing really good pitching. You know, the idea obviously is you got to get them in the at-bat early, because if you get behind to a guy like Mendez, you're in trouble.
No, big time. And you always have to respect a guy like Mendez who has a big-time fastball. You know, you look at all these scouting reports of pitchers today, and, you know, you see 4 or 5 pitch mix. And I feel like just 14 years ago when I left college baseball, most starters had 3 pitches, and if someone had a 4th, it was one that we could cancel. But Wes truly is a guy that has 5 pitches that he can land at any time.
Kevin Sweeney comes back up. Wasn't sure if there was an equipment issue, but he's smiling, which is the best sign. A little above the letters to Tiroli, who steps to the plate with 3 homers, 5 doubles, a .252 average. He's knocked in 29. Great changeup right there against the right-handed hitter to get ahead 1-2.
There's that changeup right there, and it's a good one. You get him in a 1-1 count. You've established the fastball. Starting to get these hitters in swing mode. You can go to the changeup.
1-2. He did again there. You can see the result. When you throw that fish out there at 81, it forces those right-handed hitters. They're rolling them over all day long.
It's been a big thing that stuck out about Wes Mendez throughout this season, too, is he hasn't left many pitchers over the heart of the plate. When he's gone to the changeup against righties, he's missed down and away.
Yeah, 1-2 gone with a 94-mile-an-hour easy heater. 4 up, 4 down. As we welcome Slamming Sammy Harris to the plate. Sam Harris had a 5-for-5 night the other night with a couple of bombs, including this one, which looked like it landed short of the out, but it was over the wall and off of the clubhouse out there.
And not one, but 2 home runs. And that was a big answer from this Virginia club who struggled against Boston College this past weekend against all those left-handed pitchers. They dropped the series 2 out of 3. A little bit of a heat check against Old Dominion, a team with a ton of very, very good pitchers. They faced 3 tough lefties, and they responded. Sam Harris showed up in a big way.
0-1 late on that 94-mile-an-hour fastball. It was a heat check there. It was a cold check. You go up to Chestnut Hill, it was about 45 degrees. Never comfortable for kids from Virginia who are used to temperatures in the 80s. BC's tough.
It is. That's a good club up there. Pesky bunch, can really run. They put the ball in play. They have 3 great lefties on the weekend. They attack the zone. They play good D.
Last pitch, 96 miles an hour. And he is gone. You said to me, I know Velo looked a little down in that first inning. The Velo is back. Coming up next, first of 3 games between Louisville and Duke. That's at Jack Coombs Field in Durham, which should be another good one. Dan McDonald was texting today, and he was, sort of lamenting the injuries, not only that are here with Miles Bailey, but his own, and very encouraged to say that it looks like they are expecting Zion Rose back. He's missed 21 games. He said coming back this weekend in a pinch hit DH role. And he said, make sure you check out what Tate Davis is doing too. So McDonald's very excited about what Louisville has coming up. That pitch is in there for a strike.
That's a good club. Tate Davis leading the country in home runs and RBIs. I was calling the game when Zion Rose got hurt down the left field line. A little bit of a freakish play. I'm glad he's able to bounce back quick. Heck of a player.
2 quick outs in the second inning. As Weatherspoon steps up with a 300 average, 2-1 to the catcher from Virginia. And there is a blooper into left field. It's going to get down in front of Gabe Williams. First hit of the night. A little bit of a jam shot, but with 2 outs, a runner on.
Yeah, Virginia getting into hitters' counts. Takes advantage of a little cutter slider on the inner half of the plate. Keeps a tight swing, 2-out knocks. Important to extend that inning. Gets a good pitcher in West.
Zach Jackson, another lefty, and strike 1 from Mendez.
Zach Jackson, a guy with reverse splits, 278, 2 home runs against lefties this year.
Plenty of room between the right fielder, Stutzer, and the center fielder. And this one on the ground in the hole. See Sheffield, his first chance, and he made it look very easy. The son of a major leaguer's been in the outfield and DHing, but he steps into second base in his last game and makes a very smooth play in his first chance tonight. Back at the dish on the grounds of the University of Virginia. Carl Ravitch, Devin Travis, 0-0 game. Pitchers duel. So D1 has their field of 64 national seeds projected. We are at the midway point of the college baseball season. UCLA, Rock Chalowski and company, #1. And then you start to look around and you see Virginia, in spite of the fact they're 7-5 in conference, and Florida State 7-2 and leading the conference. Well, Virginia's 5th and Florida State 14. If this holds true, they'll both host regionals. But there's a lot of love being given to Virginia. And when you watch what Johnson's capable on the mound, you know what this offense is capable. You can kind of see it. It's almost sort of projecting what they believe is going to happen.
Yeah, no question. I think you made a valid point there. You see Florida State down at 14, sitting at 7-2 in the ACC, but their projections, and it says that they're projecting as this season goes on. Without Miles Bailey, Florida State's not going to be able to keep this up, but I tell you what, these two starters on the mound today, and Kyle Johnson and Wes Mendez, Florida State, we know that they have to have good pitching moving forward from here with that loss. And Virginia, if they can get some starting pitching like it's been so far today, without question, one of the best teams in the country.
Yeah, no doubt. And what Johnson is doing is making you feel that they're even better than their start at 7-5, and he is likely to be their Friday night starter. He is a bull. He just comes right at you on a 1-2, and he gets another strikeout. So he's got 5 of those and 10 swings and misses.
He's a good pitcher, man, and he's off to a great start tonight. You said it, he's a bull. He comes right at you, and he's working ahead. And you see that really good breaking ball toward the back foot. Incredibly tough pitch to lay off of if you're a right-handed hitter. That's 4 strikeouts tonight on the slider, 1 on a heater. He's looking good.
Well, not necessarily the most comfortable plate appearance for Braden Dowd after getting drilled on the elbow with a fastball his first time up. He digs in for the second time, and that one is on the edge of the outside corner for strike 1.
That's the cutter right there. Haven't seen many of them today. New pitch to his repertoire, 85, 87 miles per hour.
The 0-1 to Dowd. And off speed at 83 to get 0-2. Big question for Florida State, and this was before the injury. You know, Link knew he had himself a good pitching staff. The question was the offense, and this was even with Miles Bailey. He said at times we looked a little inconsistent on a 1-2, end of the bat, fielded, and Dowd is out for the second time tonight. Were they going to be able to produce enough offense?
Yeah, it's definitely been a big question mark coming into this season, and they've had their lulls. The pitching's been fantastic. The defense has been solid. I think a lot of their struggles up to this point have just been approach-based, learning how to combat these pitches. And you know, you look up and down the lineup, and you see younger players, and you got guys like Sheffield, sophomore, didn't play a ton last year. Braden Dowd, a guy that has played a ton. His year's been great so far. But when you make the move to the ACC, one of the best conferences in the country, it can get pretty tough. You got high velo. You got guys with 3, 4, 5 different pitches. So I think as this season progresses, I think these hitters are going to continue to make adjustments, and the approaches will get better.
Strike 1, Noah Sheffield. He reached on the error by Becker, the shortstop, and was stranded at second base after getting there with nobody out. Johnson working ahead with a pitch count of between 50 and 60. Sitting here at 35, he's retired 8 in a row. After the first 2 reached, 1 on a hit batter, the other 1 on the error. He's looking for his 6th strikeout. There it is, fastball 95, and walking, strutting confidently off the mound. 6 punch-outs through 3. We'll talk with Link Jarrett, head man of the Florida State Seminoles, as we continue in Charlottesville. 0-0 pitchers duel underway. pitchers duel underway. We're happy to have Blake Jarrett join us here, the head coach of the Florida State Seminoles. A lot of folks, obviously, around the college baseball world want to know how Miles is doing. What's the latest you can tell us about his condition, both physically and mentally?
He's doing okay. Obviously a very significant injury, but when they got into the scans and the diagnostics and then eventually the surgery, what they hoped to see is what they saw. So that's the good news, and he'll be back. Now the timeline, it's going to take him a while, but you just don't want anything extravagant when you really dive into that injury that would have led to more issues with the repair and with the recovery. So all three surgeons that we talked to and dealt with felt that what they had planned to see is exactly what they saw. So obviously he's so disappointed and in a lot of pain. He's sleeping now. Then they said day 2 and 3 after that procedure pretty tough, and then 4 or 5 you ease out of it, and then by day 7 you should not be in as much pain. Right. So thoughts and prayers with him, and hopefully he's on that schedule. Talked to Dad this morning. Things are better, and he's in relatively good spirits overall.
All right. We're watching a phenomenal game so far between these two star left-handed pitchers. How important is getting a quality start, and if not a win on a night Mendez starts for you guys? Yeah, well, the stuff that's being thrown on both sides right now, I mean, you're seeing plus fastball, you're seeing plus cutter, slider, Johnson's change, Wes's change. I mean, this is toe-to-toe as good as you could ask to see at any level. So we need this thing to lengthen out, and clearly the way he's pitching, how long he's going to be in on his pitch count, I don't know. Johnson, that is. So man, we need Wes to lock this thing in and just keep pitching, and hopefully we can play sound defense. And then we have to capitalize. We had a moment there in the first inning, which clearly we needed to capitalize, in the shadows and the stuff. You could tell the guys were having a very tough time recognizing. So we got to hang in there and grind out at bats. Pirana's gone. Another strikeout, 4th of the night for Mendez. I guess the last one for me. So how do you, what was your message to the team when you lose a superstar player like that? What have you guys been communicating? Well, replacement of him on the field and in the lineup is not happening in terms of just him. Like, there's one of him on the team, and a left-handed bat that had played first base for the better part of the 2 years. So collectively, everybody needs to just be the best version of themselves. That's all you can do, is just play the game as hard and as sharp as you can individually play it. And if the collection here does that, you're going to be okay. Each player individually brings different things to the table. Clearly, Miles had a very unique skill set that added something to the lineup, very dynamic, but everybody's capable of playing the game well in their own respect, and you just have to go be the best version of you and grind it out, and that's what we're going to have to do. And clearly, when you take that kind of talent off the field, it changes things, but everybody out here is capable, and they just have to be the best version of them. Well, they got the right guy in you and helping them deal with that length. Thanks so much for being with us. Best of luck to Miles when you see him. Please send him our best. Will do, Carl. All right. Thanks, Dev. Thanks for being with us. Appreciate all you guys do. Thanks.
Thanks, Laker.
Three-1 the count to the 9-hole hitter. And boy, Mendez squeezed a little bit there. Some good pitches, but a walk. And Murray aboard with 1 out.
And Noah Murray, a guy down at the bottom of the lineup, coming into this ball game. 32 walks now, 33, good for 3rd in the ACC. It's a big key in this lineup. It's a guy that's not putting up the offensive production that he will put as time goes on, but being able to flip that lineup, find a way to get on base for the top of the lineup in Eric Becker.
And on base matters, man. He's got more walks than hits. You just mentioned it, and 10 of those 18 hits were for extra bases. Back to the difficult part here with Becker and then Gracia.
When you think about Miles Bailey, and everybody's talking about the offensive production, but the first base play and the defensive growth that he's made from his freshman year into his sophomore year, it's been so impressive to watch him to grow. And now you see Eli Putnam making the move from second base to first base. That slides Noah Sheffield back into the infield. He was in the outfield and DHing quite a bit. You see Cal Fisher, he shifts over to third base. He was playing a pretty good shortstop, and Carter McCulley now finds his way back on the field. So there are a lot of problems and puzzles that have to be fixed here.
Yeah, Becker laces this one to center field, but it holds up with the wind kind of knocking it down. And the play was made out there by Braden Dowd. Hit it well, but there is now 2 outs for A.J. Gracia.
And he just missed the home run his last at bat, but Tuesday, that same pitch from today. Fastball in and underneath his hand, short swing, first grand slam of the year for this Virginia club.
9 long balls on the season. An OPS over 1160. Get ahead, 85 mile an hour. Down the middle, 0-1. Or he's a little bit of a threat to run. Neither of these teams are going to be described as fleet-footed, but he has stolen 4 of 5.
Yeah, he could run a little bit. They do not have a stolen base against a left-handed pitcher all year. There was a time to chance it, though. I like it here. You got a guy like Grassi up at the dish, one of your better hitters, down in an 0-2 count against a tough lefty. Not a bad idea to take a chance here, running on first move, try to get in scoring position.
Former top prep player out of the state of New Jersey. Grassi takes one outside. What a great pitch on the outside corner at 93. Mendez overmatches Gracia. Becker and Gracia 0 for 4 combined to start this one. On the mound, and every inning before he has taken the mound, he goes through a ritual which clearly has been designed to fire himself up.
Whatever it takes, baby. Whatever it takes. Pitchers, I got to find a way to get it going. He's a bulldog. We talked about it. And routine-oriented, these pitchers, they love to do the same thing over and over and over again. And like you mentioned, Carl, if it's working, don't change a thing.
Devin Travis, Karl Ravech here, 9 of 11 first pitch strikes. That one is way inside, so that will not count as a first pitch strike. Really good freshman year. Went 4-1, and then he struggled last year, and all of a sudden the injury, and now he clearly appears to be trending in the right direction.
He's always had great stuff. He found his way in the weekend rotation in the ACC at Duke as a freshman. Mentioned he's a two-way guy. Last year scuffled a bit. It was the command. But you see what it can look like when he's working ahead and pounding the strike zone.
Could very well be his last inning. And the way they've worked his return has been him followed by another very good pitcher in Nakowski, and he is in the bullpen warming up right now.
Back-to-back lefties. A thumber uses both sides of the plate. Kyle Johnson, first outing, 1 inning, pitched 10 pitches. Second outing, 2 innings pitched, 25 pitches. So you're spot on, Carl. I think the number's around 50, 60 pitches today.
Henry Zatkowski has been the guy that's benefited and gets a little bit more of a leash with the way that Johnson's firing balls in there, although he missed low on a 3-2.
first walk of the day for Kyle Johnson.
So uncharted territory now, 42 pitches as he builds back up from what was described as a kinetic chain issue.
Yeah, not too sure what kinetic chain means. He's a guy that's working himself back. He's continuing to get better and better as he goes. With each pitch, you can see the confidence building. He's had the ability to land all of his breaking balls in the strike zone today. He's commanded the fastball to both sides of the plate. It's been a great outing, encouraging for Virginia.
0-1 to Paulino. All right, so let's think out loud here. So the infield shifts to the left. You got a left-handed pitcher who falls off to third base. Paulino's not a huge power hitter. Would you think about pushing something towards a vacated right side of the infield?
Certainly, and that's something that Paulino's very good at. But you see the attack here is living on the inner half of the plate, and the slider, the cutter, it's incredibly hard to get your hands inside that pitch. So they're pitching to this shift.
And that idea is gone on a 1-2. ACC teams that haven't played Virginia will certainly take note of the increase in usage of Kyle Johnson.
And they better.
2-2 high chopper, fielded on a tough one, and a double bounce pass over double play from Becker to Harris. Couldn't do it any better.
It's some great defense right there. It's first steps. The best middle infielders in the entire world, this is what they do. They see the high chopper, you got to make a decision. He chooses to go, and a great decision with the speedy runner and Kelvin Paulino. And I love it, on the run, use the long hop, nice and clean. That's a great play. Becker, he's always been able to really swing the bat as the defense. That was the question mark. And man, oh man, he has manned a great shortstop this year. Great play.
Outstanding, and a hamburger helper for Johnson on the mound, who now gets ahead of Eli Putnam. Becker, you follow Kylie McDaniel and where he projects. And a lot of folks think maybe moves over to second base at the next level. This one is roped. No one's going to get it. Didowick is going to go to the wall to field it and bring it back in as Eli Putnam heads to second base, and he is there with a double. Third double of the year for Eli Putnam. A couple of softball series finales Saturday. 10th ranked Florida State will host Notre Dame at 2 Eastern time, and at 6 Eastern, number 12 Virginia Tech hosts Clemson. Both are right here on the ACC network and the ESPN app. Of course, Lee Jarrett really made a name for himself coaching Notre Dame, took him to the College World Series before going back home to lead Florida State. They got another chance now with a runner in scoring position, and ball one to Stutzer.
Link's done a great job with this club back-to-back years in the Super Regionals. Went to Omaha 2 years ago. Great coach, great teacher. He's a winner.
How about that? 82 miles an hour, and Johnson has featured all of his pitches at big times, and now he is just a strike away from finishing what will be his night with 14 whiffs.
Most importantly, his stuff's ticked up when he's needed it most.
Like that, 95 to drop the mic and the hammer. And he will likely see his night end with 7 strikeouts.
Well, if we were wondering if Kyle Johnson, if the ace stuff is coming back, you better believe it. Big jams, big time players, they find a way to get out of them. Kyle Johnson, he's back.
So Virginia comes in 23-7, 7-5 in the ACC. Their last win was against Old Dominion, but you take a look at their ACC series. They took 2 out of 3 from Carolina, 2 out of 3 from Virginia Tech, 2 out of 3 from Wake, and then we mentioned going up to Chestnut Hill and winning 1 of 3 for the 7-5. But it's quite clear, you look at the team a little differently now that Johnson is pitching the way he's pitching.
He's been fantastic throughout this day today. If his day's done, tell you what, Virginia's feeling really good about themselves moving forward. Virginia, they're always able to swing the bats, and the question mark coming in every single year is, can they get enough pitching? You think about adding Kyle Johnson to the mix, and Zakowski, who's been very good this season. 2 different style pitchers. He's been sharp. It's a great club, and that number 5 projection makes a lot of sense after seeing Kyle Johnson work today.
1-2 to Diduick, bounced. A nice pick by Hunter Carnes behind the plate. From Mendez, who is nearing the 50 pitch mark.
And this is what Florida State's going to need. They have to have pitching with the loss of Miles Bailey. You got to find a way to get length, and he's done that all year long. 5+ innings pitched in every single start so far for Mendez.
Yeah, Diduick, this one off the end of the bat, so very shallow and left, and a really good read and jump by Williams, whose hat flew off, and he's there for the first out of the inning.
He's moving that fastball to both sides of the plate. He's commanding it on the inner half to lefties, underneath the hands of righties, going to the changeup a little bit more as this outing continues. He's looked very good today.
That brings up Joe Tiroli. And that is into left field. A hard shot fielded, and Tiroli with a wide turn, and he will retreat. But Virginia's got a base runner now with 1 down, their 2nd hit of the night. And Tiroli's first.
Pretty piece of hitting right there, and 2 hits on the same pitch tonight. The slider on the inner half of the plate, taking advantage of it, getting the head out. Hitting used to be against lefties. You try to hit the ball the other way. You hunt them out over the plate, protects you against the changeup. You think backside, but with all the right turns today, underneath the hands of righties, I think you got to try to pull them.
Harris laces one. That one is towards the gap. It's going to get down and go to the wall. This allows Tiroli to go to third. He's being waved. The throw home is not in time, and Harris does it again with a double and an RBI to put the Hoos up 1-0.
When you're hot, you're hot. Sam Harris, what a great piece of hitting right there. You got a tough lefty on the mound. You got a guy on first base. You jump on a first pitch fastball. He missed his spot on the inner half of the plate, and that's the go zone for Mr. Sam Harris. Short, smooth swing. Drives it into right center field. Great base running by Tiroli, coming around, scoring. Think about scoring first. Virginia 16-2 this season when they strike first.
8th double of the season. This one is into left field, and that one is down. That's a hit. Here comes Harris. He's in. 2-0 Cavaliers as Weatherspoon jumped all over the pitch and drove in another run.
Back to back, you see the approaches working for this Virginia Cavalier club. I think it's a great idea. You got to think to the pull side of the field. Cannot let the ball travel. You got to go up there aggressive, ready to go. Virginia back-to-back pitches, back-to-back hits and RBIs. See a nice pretty swing here out over the plate. Pulls it into the left center field gap. Virginia 2-0.
Chris Pollard fudged with his lineup a little bit. He moved Harris, who was not good against lefties, sitting just a 103. So he moved him down to the 5 spot and Diduick up. And how about Harris delivering that big hit, which got this offense rolling and now leads 2-0.
What a cool story he's been this season. A guy that was counted out. You see him this year putting everything together. When you're hot, you're hot.
High pitch to Zach Jackson. First runs of the night come in the 4th. Kyle Johnson, and the Cavs feel even better about his performance.
Wes Mendez has been great all season long. 1 blemish against NC State, taking advantage of mistakes. Virginia doing the same this inning.
Called strike on the corner to go 1 ball and 2 strikes. For Mendez, he's only allowed multiple runs in 1 start this year. Prior to tonight, it was like 1 aberrational game. It was against NC State, in which he gave up 4. Otherwise, you're looking at 0s and 1s. Here tonight, this offense we talked about has touched him for 2. This one off the end of the bat, it's going to be the left fielder who's coming in, and Williams is there to make the play for the second out. And keep an eye out. The sun is an issue. You saw McCulley put his arm out. He couldn't see. I don't think he had any idea where that ball went.
And you see the left on left changeup right there, Carl. You know, we talked about it prior to this game. I wonder the big reason behind the struggles for Mendez against lefties. You think with this arm action and explosive fastball, nasty slider and cutter to go with it, why are lefties having more success against Mendez? And I mentioned he'd only thrown 2 changeups against lefties coming into this season, coming into this series, excuse me. That's 3 changeups now thrown tonight against left-handed hitters.
Yeah, it's interesting. As Antonio Parada steps in, he struck out. He was the 4th strikeout of the night for Mendez. Close, but it's off. It's 1 ball, 1 strike.
It's always scared at the left on left changeups. Lefties changeups tend to fade down and into lefties. That's danger zone. Oftentimes the biggest pitch for slug against lefties, but I think it's a pitch that he needs to add. I think it's his best pitch. I think it's a pitch that he has the biggest command and feel for. I'd like to see him go into it today.
1-1 to Antonio Parada. Lifted high, corner in right field. This one is out of here. Antonio Parada drills his 2nd of the season, and 2 more runs for the Cavs. A no doubt about it shot, and it's 4-0.
Chris Pollard pressing all the right buttons today. Coming into this game, Antonio Parada, 143 against left-handed pitching. No extra base hits. Well, you're in the lineup tonight against one of the best left-handed pitchers in the country, and he delivers. Mistake on the inner half of the plate. Once again to the pull side. Looks to be the approach of these Virginia hitters. Got to get the head out. You see this back-to-back times throughout this inning that the breaking balls left on the inner half of the plate. You got to get that pitch out over. And Parada, really talented hitter, takes advantage of that.
The inning started innocently enough with a fly ball to left, and then with 1 out to Rowley, who was a Rider product, not a big power 4 guy, and was sent to go to Duke before Pollard decided I'm going to Virginia. He followed him here. Now he's the 2nd baseman. Delivered the single, then the Sam Harris double, and the RBI. Weatherspoon with a single, and a 2-run shot by Parada, the 2nd of the year.
Hitting's contagious. Got a really good starter on the mound. He's been great all day, but it's a simple single. Ball pulled to the left side this inning that seemed to ignite this offense. I mentioned Virginia. I said they were 16-2 when they score first. Make it 17-1. So this is an offense and a team that once they take a lead, they rarely give it up.
And they're doing it against one of the hottest pitchers in college baseball, a tough lefty. But it was the lefties that had success here against him tonight. The 0-1 outside. And we saw the double-barreled action in the Florida State bullpen. How quickly this game has changed. Florida State had their chance in the 1st inning with 2 on, 2nd and 3rd. Nobody out, couldn't score. They now find themselves in a 4-0 hole in the 4th.
And Mendez throwing on a day short rest. This being a Thursday, he threw last Friday, was incredibly sharp. He got off to a good start today. You wonder how that carries over into this week. Virginia doing a nice job this inning, taking advantage of mistakes.
1-2 inside the Murray, 2-2. That's a good point. That they are back here playing Thursday, of course, Easter being Sunday, so they go Thursday, Friday, Saturday. 3-2.
Mendez's velo today's been down a bit. He normally sits 92, 94. Normally a lot of 5s and 6s popping up on the radar gun. Once again, day short rest.
Nice center field on a line, knuckling out there, and that is another hit. Noah Murray, as the bottom of the order continues to deliver. 5 hits in the inning against Mendez, who before this had given up just 1.
Yeah, Noah Murray's a guy that just keeps getting better and better, and you look at the stats and you see the batting average south of 200, but they continue to plug him in the lineup. It's obviously the walks and the plate discipline, but over the course of these last couple weeks, you've seen a lot better swings. You've seen a lot more barrels. It's a good time for the guy down there in the 9 order.
The offense that is zeroing in on their 300th hit of the season. Virginia with a 4-0 lead. And that one misses low to Becker.
There's another left-on-left changeup right there.
I told you Becker and Gracia would be 0 for 4 combined, and they'd be leading 4-zip. Where would you think?
Yeah, no way, no way.
1-1, 85-mile-an-hour slider.
But it's a good sign, and that's what this Virginia offense can do when their guys, their key guys at the top of the lineup, maybe aren't the ones producing runs. You got to be able to pick yourself up. Sam Harris, obviously, the guy that's incredibly hot right now.
Becker got jammed, and that is not playable. On a 1-2. Off speed, 2-2. Another good take. The part about Virginia, so many of these guys will not give at-bats away.
Certainly, certainly. And at the top of this lineup, they're 2 of the best in the entire country at laying off those tough pitches.
Murray with good speed at first base. Mendez misses again, 3-2.
Very rarely will you hear this said about Mendez, but I think that 1-day short rest is really affecting him. His stuff isn't as sharp as it normally is. The slider hasn't landed it consistently this entire inning. Hasn't been able to land the changeup consistently. Big pitch here.
Second straight full count. Before he throws it, he'll check first. High balls every series, every game, every at-bat on future major leaguers. Mendez is one, so is Becker. 3-2, way behind him. That's a walk, and you wonder how much longer, if at all, they will leave Mendez on the mound.
Looks like he's running on fumes a bit in this ball game. Big inning from Virginia, stacking at bat after at bat, taking advantage of early pitch mistakes, laying off those marginal pitches. They made a wonderful adjustment this inning. Looks like the hitters are thinking more pull side. Got to catch the ball out front. Mendez, a guy that has not pitched under 5 innings the entire year. Mentioned double bear action down in the bullpen. Finding a way to get out of this inning right here.
Gracia aggressive on that first pitch, and he fouled it straight back. There was some communication. You could see Mendez sort of nodding like, I'm good, I'm okay, let me deal with it. And this is a massive test here and the biggest spot of this game. Chance to blow it open for Gracia. Just missed away.
That's a good pitch right there. Didn't get the call. Gracia. Great eye at the plate.
This one is shot to left field. Williams at the warning track stops and makes the play. The ballpark holds A.J. Gracia, but Mendez could not keep the Who's offense down.
Antonio Parada finds himself in the lineup today against a tough left-handed pitcher. Nice call, Chris Pollard. Virginia, 4-0.
Well, Kyle Johnson was absolutely fantastic tonight. As you take a look at his outing and some of the pitches he threw in his numbers. 4 innings, no earned runs. He struck out 7, and he wore that emotion on his sleeve the entire night.
He's a bull guy. He's been fantastic throughout the night. His job's done. 4 innings pitched, 7 strikeouts, commanded the spots. With all his pitches, he looked great.
So now they turn it over to Henry Zatkowski, the sophomore out of Clarksdale, Maryland, who stands 6'2", 190. It'll look a lot different than what we saw with Kyle Johnson, and he's been very good. I mean, I think given that he has been most of the time the guy that has dominated the Friday nights, if he's your Saturday night guy and Johnson moves into the Friday night role, Virginia's in a good position.
Yeah, sure are 2 great lefties. Be able to throw out there on Fridays and Saturdays, and he's a guy that comes right at you. Very minimal walks. He lives in the strike zone. Very important here in a 4-0 ball game. Last thing you want to do is give free passes. And the guy on the mound so far this year, he's attacked guys, just 13 walks.
Florida State just 1 hit in the game. Again, the absence of Miles Bailey is evident. And there's an attempt at a bunt, but no, says our first base umpire. So ball 1 from Zatkowski to Chase Williams. It'll be 7-8-9 for the Noles.
Fastball, cutter, slider, changeup. Changeup. Not used the left-handed hitters. You'll see a crossfire action. That fastball really jumps.
On the ground, standing right there for a bunt, Maury, and on 1 hop, Williams retired. He couldn't have been in better position after that bunt. He had moved on into the grass, and he was right there for an easy 1-hopper.
And last thing you want to have if you're Florida State, Mendez is out there, has an incredibly long inning, 4 runs scored. You make it out in the first 2 pitches.
So Zatkowski is now on, and there is length in that arm. He could conceivably take him to the finish line the way this game goes. And a luxury for Chris Pollard, given 2 more big games coming against Florida State. Shorter week. That's in there for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Certainly, and always a big goal of both teams coming into a game on Friday. You think about a 3-game series. You hear coaches scream all the time, hey, got to find a way to get in the bullpen. You got 2 guys like this, and Zatkowski and Johnson, guys that can eat innings. Think about being able to save the best arms down in that pen. In Virginia, they have some big ones. Johnny Abraham for Florida State, he's been great all year long, one of the best relievers in the country. You got 2 starters that can take up the length of an entire game, gives you the ability to save that pen for the rest of the weekend in big games.
Which may deprive us of the ability to see Noah Yoder tonight and his triple-digit stuff. But
oh, yeah.
I'm sure Pollard's not thinking about, yeah, we want you guys to be exposed to him. That's not how he's managing the game. It's 3-2. Zatkowski went 7 innings against Virginia Tech. (3-2). Lot of play.
Great at bat here for Fisher. Williams makes an out in 2 pitches. Fisher here, now 6 pitches this at bat. Important to extend the inning. Florida State can't score 4 runs in 1 swing. Got to find a way to get base runners.
Another 3-2. And just off his fist. Look, it's a different deal. You know this, so put yourself in the uniform of a Florida State guy. We got Johnson out. We couldn't hit him. Zatkowski's on the mound. Has given up at least 2 in every one of his appearances.
It's just 1 pitch at a time. Need base runners, need traffic.
Launched high into the air. Drifting back is Becker. He waves his arm, and then he's waved off by the left fielder Didewick, and there are 2 down. Blue Devils highlight Saturday's lacrosse matchups here on the ACC Network and the ESPN app. Number 8 ranked men host number 14 Virginia. That's in Durham at noon Eastern. And then at 4, the number 18 women host number 3 Syracuse. 2 good ones, lacrosse, men's and women's, Saturday on the ACC Network. Strike 1 at the knees to the 9-hole hitter Carter McCulley. We'll talk with Chris Pollard about what he saw from his starter, Kyle Johnson, how he feels about his team right now. misses away. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, I'd imagine pretty good with that tough lefty on the mound. That was the question coming in this game. You mentioned all the struggles against left-handed pitching for Virginia. They've answered the bell so far today.
Good pitch. A lot of sweep on that. 76, 1-2.
Nasty.
On the ground and past the dive of the third baseman Murray and into left field for a hit for Carter McCulley, the shortstop.
Incredibly important at bat right there. Wes Mendez, the long inning. Got to find a way to get base runners, give him a bigger break before he has to go back out on the mound. Tries to go to that same pitch, the slider in off the plate, misses out over. McCulley made him pay.
Which gets us to the top of the order. Braden Dowd hit by a pitch, then grounded out to third. Third baseman Murray is playing almost even, if not a few feet inside the bag at third. And Dowd beats one on the ground. Becker, no. It's off his glove into center field. Taking advantage of that, McCulley. He'll go to third. Florida State putting the ball in play. Have runners on the corners with 2 down.
Rare error this year from Becker right there. Another ball that hits the dirt right in front of home plate. My opinion, as soon as you take off, if your feet are moving fast, your gloves should match the speed of your feet. Gloves got to fly through quickly. Looked a little bit indecisive right there. Ball ate him up. Florida State with an opportunity here to answer back with Virginia. Sheffield at the plate, guy that's coming up with a lot of big hits this year.
He's got power, so first and third for Sheffield. Swings at the first one and pulls it foul. Ball looks a little bigger right now for the Florida State hitters coming out of the hand of Zetkowski than it did Johnson.
No kidding. They're incredibly excited to have Johnson out of the ball game. And these are moments for this Florida State offense when they're given extra outs. They got to capitalize.
Dad played 22 years in the big leagues. That's a fair ball. Sheffield is going to plate the first run for Florida State. And Dowd will go to third, second for Sheffield. And the Noles are knocking on the door now. It's 4-1 on an RBI double from Sheffield.
Yeah, he loves the big moment. These extra outs, you got to take advantage if you're Florida State, and he did. Got something soft on the inner half of the plate, ripped those hands in tight, drove it down the left field line. He just gets big hit after big hit all year long. He's a guy that's having a ton of success. Had a lot of opportunity early on with the injuries in the outfield with the Lamalier. He's taking advantage of all the opportunities he's gotten, delivered a big moment right there.
Well, Hunter Carnes, this is a massive spot in this game. Second and third, 2 outs. He takes one high, ball 1. Such a momentum shifting plate appearance. Carnes has not left the building one time this year. He's got 6 doubles, a .323 batting average coming into the game.
And he's got big time pop. He's one of the most highly sought after freshmen last year. Showed off that pop. What a big moment right here for Florida State here in this ball game.
1-1. Very good speed on the bases for Florida State. Sheffield at second. And Dowd down there at third. Noah Sheffield's having a moment for Florida State the last couple of games. Just inside, 2 balls and a strike.
That's the pitch for these right-handed hitters they have to lay off of. That fastball in the inner half of the plate. Guys that don't throw 94, 95, 96, it's very important he establish that inner half of the plate. Opens up everything away.
There was an error in this inning to the shortstop Becker on a 2-1. That ball laced straight up the middle into center field. Gracia fields. Sheffield is going to get in easily. And a very clutch 2-out hit from Carnes. Plates 2, and it's a 4-3 ball game. He drives in runs 7 and 8 on the season.
Yeah. How about it, Florida State? Looking for an opportunity here, taking advantage of an error. Being given an extra out, fastball up in the zone over the heart of the plate. Hunter Carnes, guy that they're so happy to have back healthy. Short swing, short to it, right back up the box. 4-3 ball game. Good answer here for the Noles.
A big hit from Sheffield and Carnes with 2 outs after that error, and now Paulino. Well, that is exactly what they didn't get in the first inning when they had second and third and nobody out. They could not put the bat on the ball against Johnson, and here they do it with 2 outs and the benefit of an error. Clutch hits from Sheffield and Carnes.
That's what good teams do. They make you pay when they're giving extra outs. It's a big-time knock from Carnes right there. I mentioned Sheffield's coming up with big hits all year long. This guy at the plate, 356, leading this team in hitting.
Grounded into a double play his last time up. Oh, he got locked up there in a wicked pitch at 75 that had all sorts of movement.
Nasty, nasty.
That would have been one of those where he could have swung and it could have hit him.
You can go anywhere now. Everything's opened up for him. I shouldn't be laughing up here. I swung at a 3-2 cutter that hit me in my back knee from CC Sabathia. So take it easy, Devin. Hard game.
Guessing, I know that you weren't the only one that swung at a back foot slider and got hit by it against CC Sabathia.
Thank God I faced him when he threw 91.
Gets into the Yankees Monument Park, Hall of Famer.
Yeah, he was great.
A lot of good things going on in CC Sabathia's life. On a 1-2 now to Kelvin Paulino. Beats it into the ground. This is a tough play. He races to the bag, and he is beaten there by Zatkowski. But the Knowles, they were down, man. They come up off the mat. They got 2 outs and delivered 4 hits and 3 runs. Brand new ball game. Carl Ravitch, Devin Travis, Chris Pollard, of course, the head man for Virginia. Well, I mean, that escalated quickly, didn't it? What did you see in that inning?
Well, I mean, just a soft contact single, you know. I thought it was a really executed pitch to get off the field. Just got by our third baseman, and we had a play to get off the field there. And probably could have set up on that ball, but played through it on the run, and then they took advantage of it with a couple of good swings. It's a good offense. You can't give them 4 outs in an inning.
Help me out. When you say set up, do you mean take it with his backhand or just just approach it differently? What were you saying?
Yeah, I thought there was a chance there maybe to set up like and prep step into that ball and not have to play it on the run. But it's a tough call there. Dowd's a great runner, and Eric's a tremendous defensive shortstop, so I don't question him.
How excited were you with what you saw from Kyle tonight?
Oh, man, I thought it was electric.
Yeah.
And just the ability to pitch off his off speed was really impressive.
What do you like about this offense so far today? How about this guy at the plate, Harrison Diduick?
Well, I'm incredibly proud of Harrison and the year he's had so far, and just the bounce back after a difficult year last year. He's been an unbelievable leader, plays hard on every play, doing a great job of letting the game come to him, not trying to do too much. And yeah, I think we've had really good at-bats so far. I thought we had good at-bats last inning against Mendez.
Yeah, you did, and here he is back on the mound, so a brand new ball game. Lastly, for me, your transition here, I know you brought a lot of your buddies with you. What's it been like for you?
It's been awesome, the support. Look around the stadium. Yeah. It's a beautiful stadium. We've got great support, unbelievable fan base, and administration's been great to support us. And so it's been a fun 8 months, 9 months.
Well, glad things are working out so well for you. Good to see you. Thanks very much for doing it. Good luck. Thank you, man.
Thanks, Devin.
Thanks, Coach.
Yeah, I mean, there were guys that transferred that followed him. There were guys who had committed to go to Duke that came here with him. You know, there are some similarities, obviously, between the two programs. And what he was able to do is Diduick rides one way out of here. down the line and very foul. But boy, that was some pop there. But again, it's a similar type feel, you know, Duke and Virginia, and clearly what he establishes the blueprint at Duke, he's going to try to repeat here, and he's coming into a pretty good place. He's had a whole bunch of CWS appearances.
And he's a winner, and he did a great job turning that program around at Duke. There's been a lot of momentum building there at Duke over these past couple years, and he walks over here into Virginia, stays in the ACC, brings the best players from that Duke club, and they're having a great year.
Diduick out of play. He's big into sort of leaning into what he says the inconvenience, lean into the struggle.
He's a good one. Struggles last year at Duke. They always found a way to work their way out of it.
Good pitch. Mendes locked in here. It has to do with the buffalo.
That's right.
The animal, be the buffalo. You know, a lot of other animals will run away or turn their back. He said buffaloes go right into whatever fire is being presented to them, and he wants his team to sort of reflect that.
Buffy the Buffalo, and you find out a lot about a team when they do face adversity, and they did face a little bit of adversity over this past weekend. They lost the game 17-0 to Boston College. Well, what do you have to have? You have to have a response in the storm, and they did. They found a way to win that ball game on Sunday 3-1. Then they roll over to Tuesday. You got 3 lefties they have to face. There was a ton of struggle and talk about facing lefties, and they won the game 16-2 in just 7 innings. So facing the storm, be the Buffalo. They're showing that with their play.
Have you ever thought of yourself as a buffalo?
Nah.
No. What would you describe yourself as?
Maybe when I played, I was a buffalo, but now that it's over, I look to run toward the give me the
comforts of home.
Yeah, give me the rainbows, the sunshine, baby. This game's so hard. I'm so happy to be away from it. No more sleepless nights over 0 for 5.
Dude, you got 2 kids under 2. Every night is sleepless.
Hey, I got a great wife. Man. She lets me get my sleep.
Here's Tiroli, and he grounds one to third, foul. Fielded cleanly and a good one-hop throw, so we're showing off over there. Cal Fisher, but Tiroli will go back to pick up the wood.
You're a new grandfather. I mean, you got 2 grandbabies under a year old.
Under a year old.
Congratulations. Sammy's now a dad.
That's the key, though. The grandfather never has to worry about sleepless nights. I mean,
you get to rent them.
Relatively speaking, it's right.
Oh, man.
So Tiroli is a unique guy. He came from Rider, which is a school of about 4,000 undergrads in Lawrenceville, New Jersey. I mean, it's small, man. It's about 40,000 fewer residents than Charlottesville has, as he looks at one that's bounced up there. But he was headed to Duke. He's one of those that was committed to go to Duke, and then Pollard moved over, and it was a little bit of a question. He reached out to his coach at Rider, who's Barry Davis, who was a Charlottesville native. He went to high school here. And that conversation led him to this as he rifles one into center. It's fielded. Tiroli's going to challenge the arm out there. He's in with a double. Rider pride, man. A double for Joe Tiroli with 1 out here.
It's a wonderful at-bat right there. Took advantage of a slider last at-bat. This at-bat stays committed to the fastball with 2 strikes. Something that you must do. Flips it into right center field. And with 1 out, if you think you can make it on a double, go ahead, test him. He thought he could make it, and he was right. Guy on second. 1 out, Virginia trying to answer back to Florida State.
First base open, hottest hitter for Virginia coming to the plate, and that is Sam Harris, who doubled in a run. They try to buy a little time for Mendes. The bullpen got busy last inning when he gave up 4 runs and 5 hits, all coming with 2 outs.
You see Chris Kinnear down there getting ready. It's a big at bat in this ball game right here. Florida State taking advantage of a mistake last inning. Got to have a shutdown inning if you're the Noles. Virginia trying to keep it on them.
We saw Kinnear. He was not throwing lightly out there.
Getting him ready to go. I imagine it'll be for the righty on deck. Many more traffic happens this inning.
Harris off a 5 for 5 game, a double and an RBI tonight, and 2 plate appearances. And you can tell he's in that hitterish mode. 1 ball, no strikes.
Man, when you get in a mode like this, you're seeing the ball well. There's times where you're struggling and you can't pick up spin. Baseball looks like a golf ball right now. Baseball looks like a balloon to Sam Harris.
Misses as he nibbles on the outside. It's 2 balls and no strikes.
I think this is a situation right here. You got a base open, hottest hitter at the plate for Virginia. Got to be incredibly smart here. See if he'll chase something out of the zone. If not, put him on.
On the outside corner, 2-1.
Or do that perfectly located slider on the outer black.
His 5-for-5 night against ODU had 2 home runs. 2-1. And this one ended the bat shallow center and left. It's left fielder Williams who's over there. He covers a lot of ground. And that's a big out as Harris is retired for the 2nd out.
It's a great job by Mendez right there. Once again, you're an ace of a staff and you're throwing on a day's short rest and you don't have your best stuff. Can you still give me 5 innings? Can you still give your team an opportunity to win this ball game? And he has. That's a big pitch right there. Not done yet. Florida State, 3 2-out runs last inning. Virginia looking to scratch one across here with 2 outs.
Jake Weatherspoon, foul ball. Well, for a man who professed that this is a super regional, every series is a super regional. Link Jarrett had his team down 4-zip and he got 3 big runs, and he goes back to Mendez, who clearly was tiring in that last inning. So the message he's sending to the rest of the guys to his right is we can't just throw it in. We got to try to win this game. That's our ace out there.
That's right. That's right. Think about that extended inning there, and Wes Mendez, after that long inning, probably unsure if he was going to go back out, but because the inning's extended, he gets a bigger break as that pitch gets away.
Yeah, it does. It goes all the way to the backstop, and now a little insurance run is standing down there in Tiroli, 90 feet away. Wild pitch from Mendez.
Yeah, that extended inning gave Wes an opportunity to catch his breath and get back out here. I think he does send a big message to this team. Hey, man, our ace doesn't have his best stuff, but he's back out there fighting for his club. A little changeup yanked right there.
Learn a lot about Mendez in this spot. 1-1, no, 2-1.
Weatherspoon 2 for 2 on the day.
2 singles and an RBI. On a 2-1. No. Chased up high. It's a changeup at 83. Evens the count 2-2. As he has thrown 97 pitches in this game.
Yeah, he's fighting. Emptying the tank right here. This will be his last inning, maybe his last batter of the night. Looking to dig deep right here.
Trying to get through 5 in a 1-run game. That's way outside at 92. We go full. Kinnear is in the bullpen. The hard-throwing righty is ready. Weatherspoon and Mendez. It's won by Mendez. He gets him to chase. He picks up another strikeout, strands a big run at 3rd, and he will leave with 7 Ks and still down just 1. ACC opponent like this will bring out a good crowd. It has done that. That's one of the things that Pollard touched on, the support you get here at Virginia. They lead 4-3. We go to the 6th inning along with Devin Travis, Carl Ravitch here. We had 1 hit in the first 3 innings, and then everything changed. A 4 spot in the bottom of the 4th, followed by 3 with a great answer from Florida State. They all came against the guy on the mound here, Henry Zatkowski, who came on in relief of a dominant Kyle Johnson in his 3rd start.
3 unearned runs to this Florida State offense, trying to find a way. How can we create offense without Miles Bailey? Well, anytime you get a chance and an inning extends with an error, you got to take advantage of it. They did exactly that. For Virginia, they did a great job of taking advantage of a new approach against a really good starter. Hey, let's get the head out. Let's pull the baseball. Early on, looked like they were trying to go to the backside. Got to be able to flip an approach against a really good starter. They did it. Got a tight ball game.
Eli Putnam kind of got it started. He had the first hit of the game. That came in the 4th inning. It was a double. And then it was the 5th inning in which they took advantage of the Becker error. But Putnam is the one guy who had been sort of a natural first baseman, and when they lost Bailey, moving him over there was the natural move, and then subsequently everything else kind of got shuffled around on the infield. But he is the most natural player at the defensive position that Florida State has on the field on the infield.
And I think he also has the most raw power in this lineup now with Miles Bailey out. He's the guy they're going to look to.
Here you go, 2-2. Liner left field. Ranging over to his left is Didowick. And there is 1 out. That soft contact off the bat of Eli Putnam.
And this guy coming up right now in Stutzer. Big time speed. I think Jared said if him and Chase Williams were to run a race, they'd be neck and neck. A freshman having a great year from North Carolina. Guy that puts the ball in play a ton. Another guy they're going to look to pick up some of the slack from Miles.
He pops that one up, and there's no chance for either Harris or Weatherspoon to get it. It's one of those attributes that never goes away until you realize you're near the end, is speed, and it's such a great thing that a guy like Stutzer has it, and it affords you the opportunity to try to do what he just did there.
No question, no question. A little bit of small ball.
The high 0-2.
I mean, I said North Carolina, Marietta, Georgia, excuse me. Place where the Noles seem to go a ton to get some of the best baseball players in the country. Talent rich.
Battling here against Zatkowski with 1 down in the 6th inning. These 2 teams will play 2 more games. For Florida State, their series have been very successful. They swept Wake to get things going, as another one is off the bat foul. NC State, Duke, 7-2 in conference.
Sweep of Wake Forest on the road against some very quality pitchers, that Wake Forest staff.
Stutzer off the glove, plenty of time for Zatkowski, and he will throw a sidearm throw over to first base. 2 down. Next here, 1 of 3 games. It's between Louisville and Duke. Jack Coombs Field in Durham should be another good one. So the Cardinal and the Blue Devils. How do you think the campus is doing at Duke after the shocking loss to Connecticut? I mean, is that a thing you recover from in a couple of days, a week? You don't?
I don't think so. I mean, man, that was tough. I don't watch a ton of March Madness, but I watched that on repeat. I saw the percentage. It was like 97, 98% at some point
Win
in the
percentage,
game.
yeah.
Crazy.
The win probability was at 96, 97%.
I don't know how you ever get over that as a fan. Coach Hurley's got some magic, though. He's got some magic over there at UConn.
So the Final Four is set with 3 really big, tall teams, and then UConn. We'll try to win another national championship, both on the men's and women's side. You talk about programs in college that have really successful baseball and basketball programs, or if we're talking just strictly basketball, men's and women's.
Right.
Texas got a nice run from Sean Miller this year. The women's team is phenomenal, but the UConn men and women basketball-wise are a different breed right now.
You can count on it every year.
you got a chance to see Georgia Tech. You just kind of go bigger picture of the ACC. I mean, the offense, they're going to out-hit you and outscore you. To Hopper up the middle, and you're going to be quick, and he is. Nice play over there by Tiroli to take Williams off the bases. Bottom 6 coming up, Charlottesville. It'll be 7-8-9 with Virginia up 1. Yeah, 21-game winning streak. They have got 9 hitters. I mean, East is batting over 600. They have 9 hitters batting over 300. Team on base is about 45%. They don't strike out. And to his point, the softball team is locked.
Oh, how about that? Issa Torres set an NCAA record, 16 straight hits, reached base safely in 23 straight plate appearances, and then she went completely cold against Cal. 2 for 3, so not too bad, not too bad. 16 straight hits, unbelievable.
Night is over for Wes Mendez. He kept his team in it. The offense showed up with 3 runs. It's now in the hands of Chris Kinnear, the junior out of Jensen Beach, Florida, to try to keep it a 1-run game. He will start the bottom of the 6th, straight over the top fastball, and that is fouled off. It's Zach Jackson, Parada, who had the big home run, and then Noah Murray.
Straight over the top, Iron Mike. Fastball really jumps out of his hand. He's a guy that works up and down. Fastball, curveball, slider, changeup that'll mix into lefties. Got really good stuff. Reverse splits. He's better against lefties than righties. I think a big reason is that changeup.
5'11", 195 out of Jensen Beach, Florida. The 0-1. Down. A little changeup at 79. Two balls and a strike.
Mendez was fantastic today. I mean, you think about it, he didn't have his best stuff. Still able to go 5 innings, hand it over to the pen. Florida State still in a situation they can win this ball game.
On the corner, good pitch at 92 to even it up. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Yeah, I think that was a telling start for Mendez, who got roughed up in that 1 inning, and he came back. I thought his night was over.
Gutsy.
Perfect pitch right on the corner, right at the knees, and Kinnear with a strikeout of Zach Jackson. You need out of your ace, man, is to make sure we don't lose, 7-1. You kept us in this game and almost threw 100 pitches. As you said, a short rest or 1 day shorter than usual.
And didn't have his best stuff. Still 7 strikeouts in 5 innings, 99 pitches. And you got to have that out of your ace. You don't have your best stuff. What can you give me? Can you keep us in the ball game when you exit? Can you still give us a chance to win? He did just that.
Good pitch there, 79 to start Parada, who blasted one onto the deck out there in right field, right over the 2015 National Champions sign.
Bomb.
It was a bomb. Parada holds up, 1 ball, 1 strike. Think about that 2015 team, the 2014 team that Brian O'Connor took to the College World Series. I think he would even tell you that the 14 team probably skill-wise was better than the 15 team, but the 15 team is the one that got him that championship as he went back home and left with a trophy.
Coach O'Connor, one of the best coaches in the entire country. You mentioned it. We got here. Didn't feel right. He wasn't here.
Parada continues his hard hitting. He throws a homer and now a single as he delivers a 1-out base runner.
Short, simple swing. Mentioned Kinnear is a guy that's up and down. That means the fastball really jumps on you. Misses a lot of barrels below on that fastball elevated. So incredibly important for these hitters when it's up in the zone. Don't try matching velocity and jump with power. Short to it, right above it. Good swing.
Noah Murray's done his job as a 9-hole hitter. He's been on twice. He's behind 0-1. A walk and a single. This is a Virginia program that won it in 15. They appeared in the World Series, though, in 9, 11, 14, 15, 21, 23, and 24. And yet we're talking about a Florida State team that's been to the College World Series more than anybody.
Oh, Carl, why'd you have to bring that up?
I think it's important. Context. And Link, of course, was there, what, 3 times?
Yeah, yep.
As a player.
All-American at Florida State. We went 2 times when I was there. We felt just short, just short.
You got there.
That's right.
If you don't win, you're just short.
That's right.
That's always the story.
It's so hard to win in baseball.
That's what I tell everybody who asks about Omaha and the teams that get there. And look, there have been a number of teams that have been there repeatedly, but man, it is hard to get there. It is really hard to get there.
You put in a huge body of work throughout the season, long, grueling season. It's the team.
Murray on a 3-1, bounces one, foul.
It's the team that gets hot late in the season. You think about Louisville last year in the ACC. About mid-season, we were unsure whether they were going to make a regional or not. Did a great job putting that team together. They got hot at the right time. They made a push, made it all the way to the College World Series. It's all about getting hot at the right time.
Yeah. You know, for a while there, we were used to seeing Vanderbilt again, reminded like how hard it is to get there.
Mm-hmm. Coach Corbin, one of the best.
3-2 with 1 out in a 4-3 game. And that's now going to be 2 on as Kinnear gives up the single to Parada and the walk to Murray. And it gets very dangerous now as we turn it over to the top of the order.
No, Murray reached base safely all 3 times tonight. Now 34 walks on the year, inching closer to leading the ACC in walks.
Becker and Gracia have reached base once. It was a Becker walk in the last inning. This is overdue time for these 2 guys. Strike 1 to get ahead, 78 miles an hour.
And Becker, 15 extra base hits this year off right-handed pitching. Mentioned 2-3 spots in the lineup. Very good against lefties. It's Becker. It's dominated righties this year.
Swung on and popped up sky high left field. Williams under it. There to make the play, and Becker 0 for 3 with the walk. Big out for Kinnear, and it gets no easier with A.J. Gracia.
Big out is right. Fastball attacked. 0-1 count. Got it on the inner half of the plate.
How about that graphic? Becker and Gracia 0 for 6 with the walk. The rest of the team 8 for 19. They've knocked in all of them.
Yeah, it talks about how complete this offense is, 1 through 9. Ability to pick up your best players when they're having off days.
All right, so Michael Posey is going to go out to talk to Kinnear. give him the scouting report, which is he hits everything. You take a look at True Media's page on Gracia. Anything sort of around the plate, he will square up and drill, and it's every pitch that he can hit.
Yeah, and very rarely does he leave the strike zone. Puts himself in good counts. His ability to lay off those marginal pitches that end up being balls sets him up in hitters counts where he takes advantage of mistakes, and he's a guy that just keeps getting better and better and better. And you think about all the good hitters in the country. AJ Gracia here at the plate now in a Virginia uniform, was at Duke the last 2 years. What a wonderful ad for this club. Continuing to swing a hot bat. Big situation here for Florida State and Virginia in this ball game. 4-3. Florida State scratched their way back into this game, but Virginia a chance to answer. Big 2-out knock here.
Right tower power for Gracia, who hits lefties and righties with the same success, an OPS near 1,200. 2 on, 2 down. First pitch, yes, a fastball at 92 to get ahead 0-1.
Very important in these situations. The good hitters, you got to work ahead here. Now that he's ahead, you're pitching like it's 0-2 every pitch from here on out.
5 for 5 on first pitch strikes. Next one comes way inside.
So the plan here on that mound visit is, hey, let's go fastball in. Let's try to speed him up here. Fastball in, thinking something soft here. Out over the plate away.
This was the big one to bring from Duke. And Gracia got one to hit. He pops it up sky high, foul territory. And Fisher was ready to go into the stands to make the play. Climbed the wall, grabbed the net, and he realized I can't go any further. This is all I got.
Oh, baby, and another fastball there, Carl. 3 straight fastballs on the inner half of the plate.
So we think that Mike Capozzi went out and said, get inside on him. Don't let him get those arms extended.
Certainly, and you know Mike Capozzi does a great job with this pitching staff. Always is well prepared. It's situations like this that he's dug in a ton on, and he's seen, hey, in this situation, got to make sure you get that fastball in.
1-2. Now he hung one, and he may have got away with it. Popped up. Williams charging in from left. Look out! Oh, the catch is made by Fisher as he falls to his back and avoids a disastrous collision with Williams. What a play, Cal Fisher.
This Noles defense. Haven't had to talk about him too much today. I tell you what, it's not always how hard you hit it, but it's how wonderful of a play you make in a big moment. Heads up, Chase. Woo. It's Cal's ball, baby. 4-3. To the 7th we go.
Well, the fortitude is challenged every year for every coach in college baseball. It doesn't matter where you're coaching, you're always challenged. And certainly the biggest injury that Florida State could sustain, they did when Miles Bailey slid into second base on a ball that was thrown behind the first baseman while he was standing there. He's had surgery. You heard Link Jarrett talk about his recovery, but you take all that offense, and as you mentioned, rightly so, all that defense out of the lineup. That's going to be the story of this 2026 baseball season for Florida State. How they rebound off of that injury. Fisher, who pops one sky high, will watch it go into the seats.
No question, he's the centerpiece of this Florida State club, and I don't know if there could be a bigger loss in the country in the sense of offensive production. 36% of FSU's home runs this season have come from Miles Bailey. 13 home runs on the year, putting together a wonderful year. He's a draft-eligible sophomore. You hate to see injuries, and you think about Miles Bailey, one of the better kids that I've ever come across in this game. You think about the magnitude of that loss for Florida State, just sad to see.
Fisher chases away, and that's a good start to the inning for Zatkowski. That's a tough one for Fisher, who made that remarkable play defensively, and then he's got to get ready to get up there, and he strikes out.
Yeah, Zatkowski doing a nice job responding, now retired 5 straight, tried to go fastball in there underneath his hands. Missed out over the plate, got a swing and miss. Fastball from that angle, it's incredibly tough as well from right-handed hitters, that crossfire action. And that's the pitch you got to hit right there when you're facing them.
I'm a little surprised. I mean, I know that we had talked so much about Becker and Gracia, and there were some hittable pitches to both. And yet he got the 2 pop-ups that he needed to keep it a 1-run game.
Yeah, you come into the game of baseball and you think about the best players on a team, and you think about the course of a season. This game's incredibly hard, and you come out, you watch guys hit BP. They miss balls in BP all the time.
Oh,
you
yeah.
got to credit Florida State for making some big pitches in some big moments.
McCulley singled and scored in the 1 big inning, and now he is caught looking. And it feels like Zatkowski is sort of settling into this game. Back-to-back punch-outs.
Sure is, and a pitch out over the plate right there froze him. Starts that breaking ball outside of the zone away, breaks back in the zone. Once again, the importance of being able to go in on these right-handed hitters, just speed them up a little bit. They start to set their lane on the inner half of the plate close to them. What do? You flip that breaking ball to strike. Gets the big strikeout.
Yep, and he's throwing another one to get the 0-1 count on Braden Dowd, our leadoff hitter, who started this game a couple of hours ago getting drilled on the elbow. Reached and scored on an error in the 5th. Golf one there, it's fouled, and it's 0-2.
Florida State drops this game. That's the moment that we're going to look back on. Got a guy on 2nd and 3rd, no outs. 3 straight strikeouts, unable to scratch a run across for the Noles.
That will address getting drilled on the elbow. We now have the elbow armor on. 0-2, waited on it, send one to right center field. It's carrying back there, going back to the wall on the track, and making the play is Zach Jackson. Braden Dowd just missed his 7th home run. What would have tied it? We stay 4-3. Game here, it is a one-run game, 4-3, and the big inning for Virginia started with that big Sam Harris double and an RBI. Weatherspoon had a double and an RBI, and then Antonio Parada exits stage right with one big swing.
Did a nice job against Wes Mendez in that inning. Just one hit prior to that 4th inning. Virginia, hitting's contagious. Did a nice job handing the baton, taking advantage of mistakes. Looked like their game plan completely flipped. Hey, let's catch the ball out front. Let's rip balls to the pull side. Can't let them beat us in. And a wonderful adjustment paid off. 4 runs in that 4th inning.
Harrison Didowick moved up to the 3 spot, looks at one just inside. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. The story of the game may be that inning, but the 30,000-foot view is going to be the pitching performance of Kyle Johnson. I mean, that changes the way you would look at Virginia if he continues his ascent sort of to the top of that Friday night rotation. And there you see him right there.
They're building him back up, and man, it's exciting to see him smiling again. So glad he's healthy. This club's gotten so much better with him being healthy. I love that they're taking their time with him coming back in this game. Sure, they'd love to throw him out there and continue to let him attack these Florida State hitters, but they want to have this guy healthy for the long run. He'll continue to progress, and I'm excited to see what he looks like at full go.
Ground ball first. That's just off the bag or nearly hit it, and it's fielded cleanly over there by Putnam. And down 3-1, they get the ground ball out from Didowick. Just kind of look at things in a big way, and that's a big out there. 3-1 count. ACC softball, Notre Dame, Florida State, 2 o'clock Eastern time. Clemson, Virginia Tech, Saturday as well. The softball series finales between those 4 teams right here on the ACC network and the ESPN app. He gets ahead of Tiroli, who's had a nice night. Single, double. Swings and sends a sky-high fly ball to right, drifting towards the line. Stutzer, he makes the play in foul territory. Kinnear get 2 quick outs.
He's doing a great job just coming in, attacking in this tight ball game here, knowing he's got to work ahead. He's done exactly that, showed off that good curveball. Mixed in a changeup or 2. But he's sharp. He's a bulldog. He knows the importance of this game on a Friday night, big-time series. Mentioned the super regional feel. It's been great all year long for the Noles.
Little offensive meeting with the hottest hitter on Virginia, Sam Harris. Struck out in the 2nd inning, 4th inning, that double and RBI, then he flew out to left.
I'm thinking a little bit more so than anything here, a little bit of gamesmanship, slow it down. Zetkowski giving him a little bit of a longer breather, starting to get some action down in the pen, maybe slow it down for him to get some more time to get ready. But Sam Harris swinging a hot bat, 5 for 5 on Tuesday, 1 for 3 tonight. Feeling pretty good at the plate.
Good pitch, swing and a miss. Virginia is 20-1 when leading after 7. Florida State 0-6 when trailing after 7. And both teams have been involved in multiple 1-run games. Florida State's 2-0, Virginia 2-2. A little above the letters to even the count 1-1 as Kinnear's done a nice job coming on in relief from Mendez.
He sure has, and he's got a big-time breaking ball. You saw him show it off there to start the inning. Got Sam Harris up at the plate, knowing he's looking to be aggressive.
Another good one there. So hard to square up a curveball that breaks like that. 1-2.
Nasty. Way ahead here. You want nothing near the zone. Something strike the ball.
He got him. Kinnear does the job, and we are through 7. He gets them in order. Didowick, Tiroli, and Harris. Heart of the Florida State order coming up when we come back.
Visit activate.espn.com to see if you have ESPN Unlimited as part of your TV package for no additional cost. It's all of ESPN all in one place. Sign up or activate now.
Pitching change back here at the dish on the grounds of Virginia. Henry Zatkowski done 3 innings. He threw 51 pitches, so it's been Johnson to Zatkowski. And now to the workhorse, Lucas Hartman, who'll be making his 17th appearance with some phenomenal numbers. 5-0, an ERA of 136, a whip under 1, 33 innings, 33 strikeouts.
Really great stuff, and they're going to their best arm here in this moment. 1-run ball game late in the ball game. It's a grad transfer from Western Kentucky, most experienced guy on this staff. Just 90, 91 mile per hour fastball, but you'll see it jump out of his hand. Cutter, curveball, slider, changeup. Competitive guy who always wants the ball.
And while he doesn't have the saves that others do, this may be the most important part of the ball game with 2, 3, and 4 due up. And again, it does emphasize the absence of Miles Bailey, who'd be up in this spot for a Florida State team. And that bat is recovering from surgery on a broken ankle. That's 13 of the team's 36 home runs, who is lost for the season. But a good hitter here and a hot one in Noah Sheffield. Double his last time up. He leads off the 8th. Swings at the first one and skies this one to fairly deep left field. And now coming in on it is Didowick, and there is one out. The temperature has dropped significantly here. There's a bit of a kind of a haze in the air, and maybe a little more difficult to get one out of this yard right now.
Yeah, without question. He jumped on a first pitch right there. He just missed that one. And Sheffield's looking for that ball back. Florida State just 5 outs left to play with.
Fascinating, isn't it? How much his swing looks like his dad's. I mean, that
So
first
cool.
pitch was the same swing.
His dad was one of my favorites.
His dad was one of those dudes that helped understand what the hot corner was all about when he came up.
No question.
Smoke show down there. 1-0 to Carnes. That's in there. 1-1 from Hartman. It is a veteran-laden bullpen that Virginia has.
That's exactly what you want. Got to have a good bullpen if you're going to win in the postseason. Mentioned the starting pitching, just getting better with Kyle Johnson being added now. If you can have these lockdown games, guys to come in the game late in the ball game, incredibly important. These are the hardest outs to get. The closer you get to the end of the game, the harder their outs are to get. Wonderful thing to have a lot of experience in the back end of a pen.
Starts with that split finger grip, changes it in his glove. 1-2. He thinks he got him, and he did. Hartman didn't even look, and we had to get an appeal to first to find out that he had swung at it. But Hartman watched his body language. I'm good. We're done.
Yeah, no kidding. I'm wondering if he thought it was a strike on the pitch.
I think he did.
Right? Pretty
he
good
did.
looking pitch. It's nasty. Splitter, dotted.
You can see that grip right there, a big split grip. If he changes it, he does it in the glove. It's the hardest grip to readjust to, but that is a lot of movement in there for strike one.
That looks like a left-handed slider coming out of his hand.
Paulino came in hitting .366 with a homer, 5 doubles. That's another one in there, and Hartman is just throwing darts. Trying to retire the side on 8 pitches. No, and he knows it missed.
That's a good place to miss too with that pitch. Change up in. One of the hardest pitches to hit if you're a right-handed hitter.
Didn't get him to chase, so Hartman, who's been fishing a little bit on the last 2, finds himself.
Haven't had a chance to talk about Paulino too much. One of the best freshman hitting players in the country.
2-2. These pitches move, man. They have some great horizontal, vertical movement. That thing just darted down.
He's got 2 pitches that start in the center of the plate. The changeup bites down and into righties. Slider bites down and away from righties, and a cutter that moves straight across.
He challenged him with some cheddar up top, and he gets the Paulino fly ball to the shortstop Becker. Looked like Murphy was going to catch it for a while, and then he yielded to his shortstop. Hartman in a dozen pitches gets it done. We go bottom 8. Sun is setting, and mentioned the temperature going down. Rookie mistake here by one Karl Ravech. 4-3, Virginia leading Florida State. I did not bring my cover up like you did, so I'm cold, you're not. But the guy that was the hottest tonight was Kyle Johnson. Season sort of changing start for Virginia, the way he performed.
No question. We talked about his stuff being ace-like stuff, and he delivered today. Absolutely fantastic. 7 strikeouts, just 1 walk. Worked out of that big jam in the first inning. Looked like he gained a ton of momentum and confidence. From that moment on, he's fantastic today for Virginia.
So our scores, we go bottom 8. It is 4-3 in favor of Virginia here at home, and there is a good look at Johnson, who just quickly, first glance, is a little Framber Valdez look to him.
I see what you're doing there. I see. Yeah, I'm with you. And he's a fun guy, too, and pitches with a ton of energy. You can tell his teammates love him and rally around him. Just so happy to see him back healthy for Virginia.
Kinnear's done a good job. The Florida State pitching has done what they needed to do. They've kept them in the game. As Kinnear back on the mound here, bottom 8. And he gets Weatherspoon, Jackson, and Parada. Fouled at the plate. That may have got a piece of the catcher, Carnes.
I could never be a catcher. No way. Oh, man.
Toe.
Oh.
Absolute toe frost right there. Just imagine sort of the color of some of the body parts the catcher has the next day.
No kidding.
Outside from Kinnear, went with a breaking ball to Weatherspoon, who has a couple of hits tonight. He struck out his last time up in the 5th. And he had a big single and an RBI as part of that 4-run 4th. Just missed, 3-2.
Been fantastic. Just 1 walk allowed so far today here in a tight ball game. Cannot allow a leadoff walk. Got a challenge.
3-2 pitch. Liner over the glove of the shortstop. Murray couldn't get up there. McCulley had a chance, and he's as tall as anybody playing that position. And McCulley could not come down with a good start to the bottom of the 8th, as Weatherspoon has his 3rd hit of the night.
Yeah, if McCulley doesn't catch it, no one will. 3-2 count right there. Weatherspoon starting to heat up. Hunting fastball, middle, short to it. Gets Virginia going here, bottom of the 8th.
Second 3-hit game of the season for Jake Weatherspoon. We got all sorts of strategery going on with the leadoff man on and Jackson up.
Imagine this is a situation here. They're talking through what Zach Jackson feels most comfortable with. Virginia, not a team that sack bunts a ton. They have a lead here, is hit and run and play. Although a guy at first base in Weatherspoon doesn't run extremely well, you got a guy at the plate that puts the bat on the ball. And anytime you have a lead late, you're looking for insurance. You're looking to continue to put pressure on the defense.
Jackson has not had a sacrifice this season. Like you said, they don't do it very often.
And right on cue.
Oh boy, that did not look comfortable at all. And it's fouled off.
Take that one off right there. Fastball up and in.
There appeared to be a bit of levity, almost as if, well, you're thinking about bunting here? What are you thinking? He kind of like chuckled like, not really. Not really, wasn't it my thought. And he fouls one off his foot.
A little bit of a slash right there. Show bunt early. Go ahead, pull back, let it rip. Kinnear doing such a great job tonight, working ahead of these hitters, attacking. Here, way ahead in an 0-2 count in Zach Jackson.
Kinnear wants a ground ball. So does Sheffield. He communicates with McCulley, his shortstop, up the middle. 0-2. He didn't get the ground ball. He gets a fly ball to fairly deep center field and just shy of the track. Dowd makes the play, and it's a one long out. Back to first base goes Weatherspoon.
Nice piece of hitting right there, driving it deep out to center field, but Kinnear once again continuing to attack, work fast. You think about this being a tight ball game. Your defense, they love playing behind a guy who works fast and attacks hitters and pitches the contact. It's been fantastic for the Noles.
Here comes the home run hitter, Parada. Casts a big shadow when the sun is shining. He is 6'4", 230 inside. Antonio, Georgetown Prep out of Rockville, Maryland.
I think he's telling.
Did it hit him?
Yeah, I think that's what he's saying. Go ahead, take a peek at that. It hit me.
They will take a look at it. First time the game has been interrupted by a video review. What'd you think?
I didn't think it hit him, but I believe him. I'll tell you that. He got a guy at the plate with 2 knocks, a big blast. It looked like to me, even thought about it. Like, do I even want to say anything?
Right.
All right, fine, I'll take it.
So breaking the action to see if that ball hit Antonio Parada up and in. If it did, it would send Weatherspoon down to second base, put him in a scoring position with 1 out.
Certainly can't tell from that angle right there. But for that one, it looked like you could.
Maybe one you almost have to listen to as opposed to just eyeball. To hear. All right, well, we'll see who that ruling favors, because it gives Parada another chance, which means the home run threat is staying at the plate. He's got 1 here, 2 on the season, but it also prevents the insurance run from getting down to second base. So Kinnear is ready. 1-0. Good one right at the knees. It's also a left-handed hitter's wheelhouse down there.
And he's doing such a great job, though, of going up and down with that fastball, changing the eye level. Perfectly executed pitch right there.
Runner being held on, so plenty of room between Putnam and Sheffield on the right-hand side as that one misses down and away.
And that's the exact hole that Parada's trying to use. This is something that hitters work on in BP. Got a guy on first base, use that hole, get up on the dish, rip something to the right side.
This one is also lifted to right field, but the ballpark will hold that Parada shot, and he is retired on a fly ball to right. Second time he's been retired tonight. Just missed his second home run of the night, but there are 2 down.
Boy, oh boy, did he ever just miss that pitch. But Chris Kinnear, once again, just challenge, no problem. I'm coming at you with fastballs, 4 straight that at bat. 1 big out left to go, 3 outs on offense left for the Noles.
Breaking pitch to get ahead of the 9-hole hitter. And that is Noah Murray.
Thinking about the importance of Chris Kinnear today as well. Working on completing his 3rd inning pitch, saving that bullpen.
No, it's an excellent point. Another lefty slated to go for Virginia. Florida State throws another lefty as well. And that ball is squared up center field. Dowd right there to make the play, and that will end the bottom of the 8th inning. Last chance for the Noles. Putnam, Sutzer, Williams coming up when we come back. We're back, and the smiles continue over there on the Virginia dugout. And of course, Lucas Hartman is right in the middle of it. How was he described by his manager, his coach? What did he say?
5'9" bowling ball full of muscle with great stuff. And boy, oh boy, was it great. Short and efficient.
Yeah, the bowling ball was knocking pins down real quick. He was great. And certainly given the number of pitches he threw, you could wonder, like, okay, so 10 pitches, could you roll him back out here? Pardon the pun on bowling ball and rolling him back out here. But they do have a guy that's got 6 saves. And his stuff has been described as nasty, nightmarish, filthy. He is Tyler Kappa.
Wipeout stuff, fastball up to 95, low release, high vertical, so the ball really jumps out of his hand for these hitters. They want to work to be above the baseball, got to think low flight off the bat. He's got a ton of carry with a ton of swing and miss. Nasty slider as well.
First one rides in to a guy that does have pop. That's Eli Putnam, 4 home runs. Kappa has given up just 1 this year. The infield shifts, 3 on the left side of the infield. And the 1-0. And it's 2 balls and no strikes.
See that fastball jumping out of his hand, up in the zone. You want to think short to the baseball here. Don't try to do too much. Got to think low flight. Try to swing and miss above the ball.
2-0, should get a good one, and it's way out. And it's 3-0. He has not allowed a base runner since the 7th of March. He's retired 19 in a row, and he is still in line to perhaps make it 20.
Scary situation here in a 3-1 count. Guy at the plate, Eli Putnam, 4 home runs on the year.
Here it comes. Another good one, 94, and what you would term easy gas. Ninth inning, 1-run game. Leadoff man got jammed. Ground ball, bad hop, but he got him. It was a bad hop, which turned into a charity hop for Eric Becker because it came right up to his chest.
And a good decision attacking that ball right off the bat. How about Kappa, though, man? Falls behind 3-0. You got a powerful hitter at the plate in a 1-run ball game. It's different to be a closer. I mentioned the last 3 outs are the hardest to get. He says, hey, you want to know what? I got a good fastball. I'm going to trust it. Here's a fastball, middle, and beat him.
Stutzer swings 95. It's one of those that doesn't appear to have any drop. It feels like the rising fastball.
And that 95 plays up like 97, 98.
Yeah, that one came in at 96. It's an induced vertical break of just 18 inches.
That means for hitters, you just really got to work to be above that baseball.
Like that. 1 and 2. They move Tiroli back to the second base side of the bag out there. And Kappa ready on a 1-2. Gone. 96, 2 down, 1 out away from a win to lead off this series against Florida State.
Yeah, I messed up there. I said fastball up to 95. How about it, Kappa? Rear back, reach for some more. 296s this inning, right at him. This is exactly what you want out of your closer. A guy that just comes in and attacks, says, hey, my stuff's better than yours. Let's see who wins the battle. 2 for 2 so far, both to Kappa.
Chase Williams back up the middle. He gets out of the way of it, and that paid off. Becker is there. Game is over. Virginia takes game 1 of the series, 4-3. That appeared to be a very smart decision by Kappa to pull his hand back on a ball that was right back at him and realize that Becker was in a position to field it, because that was hit pretty well.
Sure was. Base hits up the middle are no longer a thing in today's game. The shortstops, they play way up the middle to take away those knocks, and what a wonderful win for Virginia today. 4-run 4th inning proves to be the difference. Mentioned anytime they get a lead, they oftentimes hold on to it. You got to have a great bullpen in your back end, and they sure did today. 11 pitches to finish off this ball game. Can't say enough though about Kyle Johnson. He's back. He's healthy. He's got ace stuff, and that ace stuff delivered today. Watch out for Virginia. They're dangerous.
No doubt about it. Zatkowski will get the win. He improves to 5-0 on the season. Mendez drops his 2nd of the year, 6-2. Kappa picks up his 7th. Kyle Johnson was the story, but Lucas Hartman was filthy as well. The 8-9 innings covered for Virginia as well.
You got to have a solid back end of your pen.
Yep.
And the 5-9er came in, firing quick innings. Followed up by Kappa, attacking. Great win for Virginia.
So you see Kyle Johnson getting his marching orders down there. We got the headset on, got the big smile on. There's a camera somewhere over there I'm supposed to be looking at, and he is. Well, we appreciate you joining us, Kyle. That was a phenomenal pitching performance from our perspective. You've had a smile on your face since you came out. Tell us how you feel about what you did tonight.
Yeah, I felt awesome to get out there and give these guys an extended outing. Definitely just wanted to go out there and do the best I can to help this team get a win. So definitely excited for that.
Now, help me through this. So when you have a performance like that, and we obviously now look forward to your next outing with maybe a few more pitches, when do you think about getting back out on the field as a player, or do you transition to, I'm a pitcher right now?
The past few games I've been out there in the outfield, so just trying to do the best I can to stick to both and figure out how I can contribute with the bat in the field, also on the mound.
All right.
Kyle, talk to me a little bit about your transition from Duke here to Virginia. What's this experience been like for you so far?
Yeah, it's been an awesome experience. I mean, you saw today all the fans out here just showing all the love for the new coaching staff, new players. But it's been an easy transition because this team's amazing. I mean, we're all brothers, so it's definitely an easy transition.
All right, you get to the finish line. Your last pitch may have been your hardest as far as velocity. I think it was 95 miles an hour. How much was left in the tank as we continue to watch you kind of go through different pitch counts as you progress back towards maybe going even longer?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, every pitch I give is as much as I can. But I mean, I felt like I had a lot more in me, so getting excited for next week.
Give me a quick post-game thought. Like, what's on the Kyle Johnson plate tonight? What do we do?
I don't know. Tonight I'm just going to hang out with my family, probably.
Attaboy.
Yeah.
That was a phenomenal game. Thanks very much for being with us. Great game. Congrats to you and the Virginia team.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Got it.
Thanks, Kyle.
He was special. Kyle Johnson, outstanding. The Virginia team, you could tell how important he is. And that was a heck of a game, the way they played. Virginia beating him by a final of 4-3.
Yeah, what a great win for Virginia. They steal game 1 of this series. Got a lot of baseball left. Can't wait to see how it finishes.
All right, Devin Travis, Carl Ravitch, our whole crew, Virginia, a winner. Back to the studio we go.